Smoke. OVS. Old Virginia Smoke. Old Virginia.
This podcast is brought to you by the Kansas City Barbecue Store, the official provider of barbecue supplies to listeners of Pitmaster. It's fall, it's football season, and holidays are right around the bend. That doesn't mean that the grilling and smoking stops. From smokers and fuel to rubs and sauces, the Kansas City Barbecue Store has everything and anything you could want. Make the Kansas City Barbecue Store your one-stop shop for all your outdoor cooking needs. As a listener of the Old Virginia Smoke Pitmaster podcast, you can get 10% off of your order this fall by using the code PITPOD, PITPOD, for online orders at www.thekansascitybbqstore.com. So keep on smoking, folks. Welcome to another edition of Pitmaster, an Old Virginia Smoke podcast. My name is Luke Darnell, your host. This is episode 99, if you can believe that. Episode 99 of the podcast. And I thought it would be appropriate to start a new format, not necessarily a new format, but just a new idea. And we're going to go back and have on our original guest. And we're just going to call this kind of a random walk and talk about barbecue. And so please join me in none other than Bill Gillespie with Smoking Hogs. How you doing, bud?
What's happening? How you doing?
I'm good.
Good.
It's funny to think about being close to 100 episodes and that you were episode number 1.
I know. That's absolutely. When you were saying it's episode 99, I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive in what, 2 years time?
2 years time. Yeah.
Maybe a little more than that, I think. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah, a couple months. Yeah, because
I think we did it in August of 2020. I think we sat down.
I thought it was October.
No, no, it was August. It was down in Jersey, I thought, at the in Blairstown.
That's right. That's right. It may have even been like in April or May, but I didn't release it until much later.
Yeah, that was the triple, wasn't it? That triple contest we did.
Yes.
Yeah, that was like July. That was, you know what it was? That was the end of July, beginning of August. It was that weird weekend in between.
You're right, and we had the triple, and we were down in that. I was down in that bottom hole,
the valley.
The valley, and you came down there, and we recorded live outside. I remember that.
Yep, we did. That was fun.
And then after 20 minutes, I decided to hit record, and then we did it all over again.
Yeah, we did it. Yeah, it was just a warm up. It was a warm up.
We had to get our shoes tied and ready to go.
Yeah, it's like that Office episode. I don't know if you watch The Office or anything, but it's that one where Pam always holds the call for Michael and lets him get out that wacky saying or whatever that offensive saying he's going to say, and then she sends the call to him so he can speak normally. That's kind of what we did, right?
That's kind of, yeah. So what's going on? What's on your mind?
Oh man, not much. Just we had a class this past weekend. I'm glad that's over. They're fun to do. I like to do them, but it's just a lot of work. I'm glad we did it, but I'm also glad that it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing much. Just kind of getting ready for Christmas and kind of laying low for a little bit,
I love classes, man.
I do.
I love teaching them. You're right. It is a ton of work, and mine's coming up this weekend, and I've been thinking about, like everything I need to do. And, but yeah, like I'm curious to know this because I don't know that we've ever talked about this, but when you go to a contest and somebody that has taken your class that, people take our classes that have had success, but somebody that hasn't, and then they have success, what's that feeling like for you?
So somebody that has taken my class and
Yeah,
then they get a call or something like that. Oh
yeah,
man, I think that's awesome. It's just a sense of satisfaction, an overall feeling of joy. Um, you're happy for them because they took your class to heart, right? They, I think they took everything in. They went back home, they practiced it, and boom, they get a call. I don't know, the next contest or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Um, it's a good feeling overall, really.
It's it is, and it's one of those things, because there's been people, especially in our area, that have taught
Hmm.
classes, and then when their students do well, they put out a post like, "Oh, look at what all my students did this weekend and everything," and it's like,
Yep.
I don't ever want to get to that because I don't think that's fair to the people that cooked it.
Right.
But
Yeah. No. I mean, personally, like that person took your class. They got a call, and
right,
I always make sure I go up to them afterwards, and I give them a big hug, congratulate them,
absolutely.
and you can see that they're completely thrilled with what they just did.
I feel like a proud
Um,
papa when it happens.
yeah, yeah, basically, yeah, exactly. That's a
Yeah,
100% true. Yeah, yeah.
and it's you know I think about especially the class I taught last year. Like
Hmm.
six or seven people from that class really thrived
Yep.
this past year, and
Yeah.
when I think about, I mean, obviously these people pay for the knowledge and pay for the
Hmm.
investment,
Of
but
course. Yeah.
I still feel like that's giving back a little bit
Yep. Yep.
into the community that's been so great for both of us.
I think so. Absolutely. Um, I'm doing private classes, and
I
I
love
have
those.
them. Yeah, I do too, and I have them right here at the house. No more than four people. It's a perfect setup. It's a more intimate setup.
Right.
You can. Sorry. You can. I don't know. It's just for me, it's a little bit more relaxing. Maybe just because it's in my own house and there's less people, but um,
You get a chance to teach more that way,
I think
I
so.
think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yep.
I mean, big classes, you're going over the broad strokes. You're hoping you get it right, especially
Hmm.
chicken. You're
Yeah,
just
I
like,
know, I
you're
know.
like shit, man. Yeah, I've done a few private classes and I really enjoy those.
Mhm. I know one
Um,
thing I do like in my bigger classes is I tend to move a little fast. So one of the things I constantly repeat, I said, if I'm going too fast for you, just tell me to stop. I'm here for you. You paid all this money. I want you to learn as much as you can. Um, so I
absolutely,
have to, yeah, I definitely have to slow myself down sometimes.
absolutely, and yeah, I have to do that too. And like I find myself just going and going and going, and then I'll be like, wow, I can't believe I just told you that.
Yeah, right, right. And
but
it's funny. Go ahead.
no, you good.
No, I was going to say it's funny because I always, in the beginning of the class, I say, you're going to ask me a question, and my answer is going to be because that's the way I've always done it. And that's the same, the simple answer. Like, there's no other reason why other than I did it one time that way, it worked, and that's why I do it.
That's pretty
That's,
awesome.
yeah. So there's no, another thing I try to tell them is that there's no magic button or there's no magic pill. It's a lot of hard work. Don't just think you're going to take a class and all of a sudden the next contest you go to, you're going to get GC. It's going home and taking what you learn,
Practice.
practicing, and just I mean that's what I did. Eons ago, 12 years ago, when I took my first class. I mean, I spent the entire off season every weekend cooking, 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 cooking. And
That's the key.
yeah, yep.
That and you judging my pre podcast sandwich.
That's right. That's right. I did. I was like, "What are you eating?" And you told me it was a mayonnaise and cheese sandwich, and I'm like, "Damn," and that got me thinking, and I'm like, "Wow," I'm like, it's you know, I don't. Well, I'm trying. How do I say it? It's just the simple things that you just enjoy, like a cheese mayonnaise and cheese sandwich. Boom, done.
Right.
Like
And then
it's delicious.
you asked me the
Yeah,
question, like, do people think that we
yeah,
always eat like crazy
like,
foods just because we
yeah. Like,
cook?
just because we cook competition barbecue, we're successful. We sort of have that stigma over us. You know what I mean? Like we're always eating fancy food or whatever it is. You know what I mean? And
But
no, it's
see,
not always the case.
it's not always the case, but you and I have this uh not argument, but like when we go out to dinner at places, you're like, let's go to this bar, and I'm like, let's go to this nice place. And
Right. Yeah.
so I think I do fall on that spectrum a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love going out and getting a nice, medium rare grilled duck or a little bit of foie gras, or you know what I mean. But don't get me wrong. On a night that I don't want to do anything, I have no problem opening up a can of tamales and just eating canned tamales. You know what I'm saying? Like I know people are they're gonna hear that and they're gonna be like, "What the hell is wrong with you?"
That's not your worst food transgression, though.
No, definitely not. I
No,
mean,
I've never seen anybody in barbecue that will order. We'll even be at a restaurant that doesn't necessarily have all barbecue, and you're still
oh
going to
yeah,
order it. You're going
I'm
to order
still gonna
that
order brisket. Yep, that brisket sandwich. Yep,
every time.
every time. Yeah, I don't care. I mean, it could be an Italian restaurant. They just happen to have a brisket sandwich on special. Guess what I'm ordering? That brisket sandwich.
It's still one of my favorite barbecue memories ever was when we went to that restaurant
Oh,
in
in Urbana.
Urbana, Virginia, and
Yeah,
they're a little bit southern down there, and
just a little bit.
we were pretty
Yeah,
loaded up when we went in there,
yeah, that's true. It was
and
what there was a bunch of us. It was like 6 or 7 of us, I
I
think,
think it was
right?
a Thursday night, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah, Big Ugly
Yeah,
was there. Chris
yeah,
Hall. Yep.
and we were all kinds of drunked up, and you walked in and said something to the server and went and sat down, and I
Yeah,
looked
she
at
had
her and
no
I'm
idea.
like, he's not from around here.
Yeah, she had no idea what I said. I don't even think I knew what I said.
That was a good weekend, though. Was that the weekend
That
we
was.
drove? We just after awards, we drove around in the golf cart with a bottle of Jack and just drank the
I
whole
I
thing.
I think so. Yeah, yeah.
That's also
Yeah.
where is that the same contest where uh, you had three high calls and then
Um.
like the whole crowd was quiet and then they called over all and you screamed out "fucking chicken."
Oh yeah. Yes. Yes.
That was a great
Yep.
weekend.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, "Why did he say that so loud?"
Yeah. Yeah. Chicken was a little bit of an issue that year.
We had some good times though, man. It's been fun.
Yeah. Certainly. Definitely.
What
But
you had a pretty adventurous fall, didn't you? You went a lot of
we did.
places.
Yeah, we were all over the place this fall. We were lucky enough to get to the Jack this year. It was our 10th time cooking at the Jack, so that was pretty special. Um, so we did that. Drove down to Georgia, dropped the trailer off, flew home for a couple days, flew back down, did the Royal Oak contest.
That's
Um,
cool.
yeah, we left the trailer down there again for another week and a half. Drove home and then drove back down to do the KCBS Invitational in Alabama, and then took a little bit of a hiatus up in Asheville, North Carolina.
What'd you think of
Um,
Asheville, dude?
that's a cool little city, man.
I love
Um,
it.
yeah, like the breweries, the food scene. Like it was definitely cool. It was kind of cold and rainy, but whatever. I wasn't working. I wasn't behind the grill. I was just, yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
Um,
Kim and I spent a week there this summer.
yeah, it was. I definitely want to go back when it's warmer out. We definitely we went to the Biltmore. That was awesome. Took a little bit of a drive out on the or part of the Blue Ridge Parkway. That was kind of cool. Um, we hit Sierra Nevada, which is the Disneyland of breweries.
That place is amazing, isn't
Oh my God, that was awesome. They
it?
actually, speaking of food, right? So they actually had pig cheeks on their menu.
Well,
So
yeah,
they had poutine. So of course I get the poutine,
gotta
and
get
then
a
I get,
poutine.
right. You got to get the poutine. I mean, I'm almost like I'm up what 1,000 miles from Canada, and I'm ordering poutine,
Got
right?
to.
So I got that. I got the pig cheeks. Yeah, I mean, it was just a cool place to visit. You know.
I don't think that you and I have ever been in a restaurant together where they've had poutine where we've not ordered poutine.
Oh my God, the one up in Lake Placid.
Oh yeah.
The what the heck's in it? The brewery right there.
Oh, Big Slide.
Big Slide. Yeah, that's one
Great
of
pout.
the yeah. It's a different poutine, but it's
But
good.
it's very, very good. You know what?
Yeah,
You just inspired me. I think I'm going to try and make poutine in the next 2 weeks.
that's a good idea. Yeah,
Have you ever
I
made
might have
it?
to do the same. I've never made it before. No,
Hmm.
I think I would make it. I don't know if you probably had it growing up. Salisbury steak.
Yeah, dude.
So you know how salty that gravy. It's like a thin gravy kind of
Yeah.
thing. I think if I did that and thickened it up a little bit, I think that would be an awesome poutine gravy.
What do you think about doing it with like some braised lamb?
Oh yeah,
I
short
think
rib.
that.
I mean, I've had the short rib
Ooh.
poutine. Yeah,
Now you're talking dirty.
right. But I like the lamb thing. I love lamb, so I would definitely do that.
Did you get a chance to go to Chai Pani, the
I
restaurant?
didn't.
Oh,
No, because
dude.
I wanted to. I know it was at Indian place, right? Or something
Yeah.
like that, or a food truck.
It won. No,
Uh,
it's a restaurant. It
or it's a
won.
restaurant, but yeah,
It won James Beard's best restaurant in the United States.
I know. We had so many. Like we were only there for a couple of days. Like we got
Yeah.
there on a Monday afternoon, and we were leaving Friday morning. So
It's
we
hard.
basically we had 3 days. The first day on Tuesday, we just did a little mini bar crawl or brewery tour crawl that we could
Yeah.
walk to and everything. But yeah, next time I got a list of places I want to go back to when we go back to Asheville. Definitely.
Kim and I have actually talked about going back there just to eat there.
Yeah,
Like it
right.
was such an amazing meal and so many big flavors that
Hmm. Well, you're
yeah,
close enough. You could just go for how was
eh,
it 10 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours for you,
seven,
something like
eight,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What what's your 2023 look like?
Oh man, it's funny. I've got a tentative schedule, and I think there's already 29 contests on there.
Jesus,
I know, and I said I was going to scale back next year.
you say that every year.
I know. Well, the thing, and out of those 29, though, eight of them are doubles. So
Wow,
it's really more like what, like 20 contests. You know what I mean? Or 20 venues, I should say.
right,
21
right.
venues.
Do you still love
Uh,
doubles as much as you used to?
Not really. I know we talked about I know we talked about this, but if there's a double there, I'm gonna do it because I'm there, you know. But I mean, I'm getting older. It's starting to wear on me a little bit more. Um, yeah,
Man,
it's just different. It's different. That's all.
I used to be like every contest should be a double. I'm already here. Let's go.
Yep.
To
Yep.
now, I'm like, eh, you
I
know,
know.
just doing one's okay. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Right.
Um, but you're also, and we're both guilty of this. We're both jackasses in that Like we say we're never going to do ancillaries, and then if they have one,
Oh, but we do. Oh,
we're doing them
absolutely.
every time.
Yeah, exactly. Like I really got into the turkey smoke this year.
You know,
And it
Bill,
was,
I want to, but I'm really fucking bad at it.
yeah, we got lucky. No, I don't think so. You cook good stuff for that.
I,
Um,
I kept trying to turn in Rusted Mustang. It was a terrible
I
idea.
know. Yeah. We ended up doing a grilled sandwich that Sean and I worked on, at the beginning of the year, just trying to say, okay, we're done doing like the stuffed jalapenos and the cranberry stuffing turkey, which is my all time favorite sandwich, by the way.
That's
But
gross.
it's so good. Stuffing cranberry turkey mayonnaise, it's awesome. Sometimes I'll actually use the stuffing as the bread and grill it up. But anyway, I digress. Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude, that's awesome.
Oh man, I
Yeah.
have to tell you something.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if we've talked about this or not, and people will listen to this podcast and be like, "What the hell does this have to do with competition barbecue?" But my mom used to make an oyster stuffing,
Ooh.
and I have spent the 3 years since she passed trying to find the
Yeah.
recipe, and
Yep.
she didn't. I didn't think she had left it with anybody, and
Yeah.
so I texted my Aunt Patty again, and I said, "Hey, I know. Can you look again for this?" And she's like, "I sent this to you last year."
Oh,
And
wow.
I went and found it in my spam,
No kidding.
and I made it the other day. It was after Thanksgiving, but I made it, and
Oh,
it was
wow.
absolutely just took me back to my childhood. And
Did it taste the same? The exact
yeah,
same? Yeah.
yeah, it did. I'll send you the recipe. I typed it up.
Yeah, definitely. It's funny you mentioned that about about your mom. So I have a similar story. Like my mother she made like the best potato salad. So she passed away a few years back, about 3 years ago,
Yeah,
and I I never really sat down and wrote down. I kind of knew the gist of what she did, you know, but it and I made it one time and I got really really close, and it's the mayonnaise that she used. Up this way, there's a mayonnaise called Cane's, and it's made right here in in Massachusetts, and I've tried it with like all the different mayonnaises, like Hellman's and Duke's and all that. And I finally made it with Cane's. And I was like, oh my God, that's it. I found it. And, my sister sort of, she tried it and she's like, yeah, that's it. That's it. So it's funny how you sort of, you
right.
finally get to that point, and I'm
Yeah,
just glad I
definitely.
did because every time I eat it, I think of her. So
I know. I think we lost our mom pretty much around the same time.
yeah, I think, 2019, right?
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
within a couple weeks. I know, yeah, October, and I think yours was a couple weeks into November. I think.
yeah, yeah. Beginning of
Yeah,
December. Yeah,
yeah, that's right. Yep.
man.
So
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. But I found that recipe and I made it, and
That's awesome.
I took a bite of it, started crying, and I was like, I was like, damn, finally got it right though.
Yeah.
It's good though. So, anything new happening on the rub and sauce line?
So I've got a rub coming out. Um, it should be out in a few weeks, couple weeks. I'm thinking. It was supposed to be out, a little bit ago, but just with everything going on and getting ingredients and stuff like that, just things happen, and so it's a little delayed, but it's all good. So it's a kind of a take on an SPG that's kicked up a little bit. So I'm
Oh,
calling
nice.
it yeah. So I'm calling it the Perfect Storm. It's a buttery chipotle rub, and
The the perfect storm.
the Perfect Storm. That's right.
Now
the,
say it normal.
I can't. That's the Perfect Storm. I can't even.
You can't fake it.
No, I can't even fake it.
Because I've been told that I do a really good Bill Gillespie When I'm
Yeah,
telling
that's funny.
Bill stories, I
Yeah,
always use your voice, and people are like, "Jesus, you sound just like him." I'm like,
that's
"Yeah,
funny.
it's
Yeah,
Wicked
wicked
Pissa."
pisser.
That's
But
cool,
no,
man. That's
yeah, I'm excited for this one. I've been using it on my brisket all year. Been doing it on SCA. Just really trying to use it a lot, and it's a good rub. I mean, you can put it on pretty much everything.
nice.
On vegetables, whatever.
Maybe I'll put it on
But
turkey.
there you go. Yeah, I mean, it's got that buttery flavor, a little spicy on the back end with the chili powders and stuff. And yeah, I'm excited for this one. I've been working on this one for a little while.
Nice.
And yeah, just another one to add to the collection, I guess, which I'm excited about.
This podcast is brought to you by BarbecueData.com. BarbecueData.com is your one-stop shop for all of your barbecue competition data. Historical data, calls, wins, placements, everything under one roof. It's a great way not only to track yourself in the standings, but also to track how you improve your scores from year to year. Listeners of this podcast can receive 20% off of a new subscription to BarbecueData.com with the code PITPOD. That's one word, all capital letters, PITPOD, PITPOD. So check your team scores, check on others, and do it all on BarbecueData.com. I'm rededicating myself to turkey smoke next year.
Okay.
Just because I'm tired of being a massive failure at it.
Yeah, it's going to be a little different next year. I guess they're not supplying the turkey.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't care either. I'm fine with it. I'll still.
I'd rather they didn't.
Yeah, that way you can pick and choose what you want. I mean,
Do they make Wagyu turkeys?
Oh, maybe.
I will tell you. I will tell you that one of the more fun things that we did this year was the way you roped me into that KCBS steak contest in Lake Placid.
That's right. That's right. The strip steak.
Yeah, because I was going just to watch.
I know.
And you were like, "Why don't you cook it?" And I'm like, "I don't have any steaks." You're like, "I got 2 extras." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Shit." I was like, "Well, how much does it cost?" And the organizer's like, "It's free." And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't really have a reason not to do this anymore.
Yeah, right. I know. Kim was pissed at me. I know she was.
Oh, yeah. She was like, "Why are we?" And then I'm trying to come up with all this stuff to make this compound butter.
Yep.
And she was like, "You're never going to find everything. You're just an idiot." And I ended up finding everything and ended up finishing 4th or something.
Yeah, we finished. I think I was 3rd and you were 4th. We were
right.
boom, boom, right there. So.
The thing I loved about it is that nobody knew what was going on or what was the expectation. You could just do whatever you wanted to, and we did.
Yeah.
And it was fun.
Yep. Yeah, it was good. And I know you have the option of turning in a whole steak, but I'm like, you know what? I'm not. I'm just turning in slices. And
I turned in a whole one.
Yeah, yeah.
And probably shouldn't have, but I also made that crazy jalapeno lime butter.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, what's funny is your flavors and my flavors were completely opposite ends of the spectrum.
Right.
And that just shows you that was cool about it because we finished right next to each other. So
yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
I always love that contest, man. It's such a good time.
I do too. Yeah. Dimitri's awesome. The whole area is just great. It's just I mean, you're up in the mountains, up in New York, Lake Placid, and it could be
all the history. Yeah.
Oh, all the history there, exactly. And it was they moved it out a little bit, so it's Labor Day weekend, so it's a little cooler. It could be 50 degrees there, and then down in Albany, New York, it's
80,
70, 80, 75, 80. So yeah.
No, I tell people all the time, if you want a bucket list cook, that's one of them.
I agree. Yeah. Just for the history alone.
The history, yeah.
Yep. The 1932 Olympics, the 1980 Olympics.
Dimitri.
I mean, Dimitri. Yeah, yeah. Dimitri's number one. I mean,
He
you
is.
go there for Dimitri and then for the history, right?
Oh yeah, we've had some good times there,
That's for sure. Definitely.
and the
Yeah,
scores have gotten so much better there, dude.
they have. I don't know what happened if COVID helped them out or what, but I know last year, not this year, 2021, it was almost a 700.
Yeah.
I think it was a 699 or it might have been I don't remember. Yeah,
No,
no, it
they
was a
did. Top
699.
Gun.
Yeah,
Top Gun got a 700.
it was a 700. Yeah, okay,
Yeah, and I remember
but
like 6, 7 years ago, I RGC'd there with a 639.
yep, yep,
And I
it's
remember you.
amazing.
I remember you pulling me aside, going, dude, don't look at the score sheet and take anything
Yeah,
from it. It's going to be really bad. And I said,
yeah.
no, it isn't. And then I got it. I'm like, oh shit.
It's funny. I remember one year Mark Breen come up. Um, he come up to Lake Placid, and I told him right away. Man, like I told you, don't even look at your scorecards. Just take this with a grain of salt, and just the scores you get are the scores you get. It's just they're 75 points lower than what you would normally get.
Right. And I could hear him up there going, God damn, man, I can't believe it.
Yeah. Yep.
There's somebody I should have on the podcast.
I know. I haven't seen him in quite a while.
Yeah. I should have him and Billy Rhodes on at the same time.
Him and 420.
Oh, God. Jay.
That was a funny night. Listening to them two talk, going back and forth.
I know you and I were staring at each other going, I don't have any idea.
I have no idea what they're saying. It was awesome.
It was like listening to two babies go back and forth. Run out. Yeah, man. Yes. Now we're getting into my barbecue impersonations. I could do them all day.
I'm not good at them.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So, new rub coming out.
Yeah, new rub. Yep. Got the planning the season. Yeah, I don't know. Not much. Probably do a few more private classes, maybe one more big one sometime next year. I think we're gonna try to. I really want to grow my brand a little bit more, and it's hard when I have a full-time job.
Yeah.
And I don't know if a lot of people know that, but I do the barbecue thing kind of part-time. Well, it's really a second full-time job, but I know you've turned it into a full-time job, and it's hard work.
It is.
I'd like to be able to do something with it where it sort of helps me in my retirement, from when I retire from my full-time job. So
Right. Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah. So we're gonna hopefully be a little bit more active with the videos and the promotions and stuff like that with our products this upcoming year. Try to spend more time with like the YouTube channel and stuff like that, and just try to grow the brand basically.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Yeah. Yep.
Right on.
So how about you? What's your plan looking like for next year?
Man, if I can get to right around 20 contests again, that'd be great.
Yeah. That's still a good amount. That's still a lot of
It's
contests.
a ton, and I don't know that I'll get there this year.
Right.
Just because the business is growing, and
Mhm.
catering's growing,
absolutely.
food trucks growing.
That's good.
Teaching's
That's
still
what you
going.
want.
Yep, I may or may not have a couple of rubs coming out.
Good.
We'll
Good.
see. Maybe I'm trying to decide if the world needs rusted Mustang or not.
Yeah.
Isn't that like, I don't know if you have any products like that where you're like, because it is a polarizing thing. You either like it or you don't like it. And
Yeah, it's definitely a different product, you know.
right,
I mean, I've had it, and I thought it was good. Like I used it as a, believe it or not, as a salad dressing one time.
right.
You know, because it's that thinner vinaigrette kind of thing, you know, and some
We've
grilled
made
chicken in there, and it was good.
we made a great Cuban sandwich with it. I forget where we were when we did that.
Nice, that would be good, definitely.
But yeah, it's so when you get into consumer products like that and having one that,
Hmm.
is like that, it's like, well, do I keep going with that? Do I try and find
Right.
something else, or you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's just kind of those things, and I think I might have a new direction for some of the podcasts that are coming out. So
Cool.
we'll
Nice.
see how that goes. But
Awesome.
yeah, just another year of still being here, and
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
I
Well,
can't wait to get I can't wait to get back out there and cook another
yeah.
contest.
I know. I say that I'm laying low, but I really can't wait until the end of January to go down to Florida and start our year off. You know what I mean?
It's always I always tell people it's when they ask me if I know you or and something. I'm like, for someone who's done competition barbecue as long as you have,
Yep.
watching your, and this is going to sound probably overtly poetic more than I wanted to, but you just have this boyish enthusiasm about yourself at a contest.
Yeah, I just
And
enjoy. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I mean,
I
again, it's
mean,
infectious. And that's why, I mean, I love being parked right beside you because
sure.
we're great.
We have
We're
what
great.
we.
We're great friends and we've been friends for a
Yep.
long time now.
Absolutely.
And we just have a great time. And,
Yeah.
but just watching your excitement about doing it, and it makes me excited.
That's good. That's
And
cool.
and yeah, Darren was the one that always told me. He goes, the minute that this stops being fun is the minute that I stop doing it, and
Yep.
that's a great quote because
It is. It is.
in 90% of the time
It's.
now, it doesn't matter to me where the contest is
Hmm.
or how much they're paying. I haven't looked at a prize purse in so long. I don't
I
care.
know. Yeah. Yeah.
I really just care about who's going to be there,
Hmm. Pretty
and if
much.
I'm if I'm going to have a good time. And yeah, that's the
Yeah. No.
biggest draw anymore is that.
Hmm. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I started competing in 2005, and I can't believe it's 17 years of doing this.
Wow, dude,
Yeah. So next year will be 18. It's
that's
crazy to even think about that.
that is
And
crazy.
yeah,
But I'm going to
you
bring
know,
up something now that might be a touch of a sore subject,
all right.
and it's because you've gotten mad at me a couple times already because of my new Friday morning habit at contests,
What's that?
going and playing golf.
Oh, I know. I know. I need to start doing that because I love playing golf. I haven't played in years. I used to play all the time, and I think it's a good habit. I think it's something that I need to do. You
It's
know.
and it sucked because the two times you got mad at me were because we already had four.
Oh, I was just busting your chops.
I know,
I was.
but
Hey,
it's turned into a thing. Like,
yeah.
especially if John from Chunky's going to be there,
Hmm.
um, we're generally going to find a place to play Friday morning.
Yeah. Right.
And if the Top Gun boys are there,
Yep.
Dan and James, the four of us are going to, and we're looking to expand it. We want to get two foursomes out there and put together like a kind of informal barbecue golf league. And
Hmm.
it's just a lot of fun, man. And it takes your
It
mind
is.
off of it and gets you
Yep.
outside. I
You know what?
played.
I
Go
would
ahead.
even love. I was just say I would even love even like the day before, but then you're talking like vacation time and all that stuff. But I can see how you'd want to do it on the Friday morning. I mean, you just get
Well,
up early, you go do it, and you're still back by 11 o'clock. So
that's that's the hard thing is planning around schedules,
right,
and getting everybody to like the Top Gun guys. I forget where we played. Somewhere in Pennsylvania, Spring Grove.
okay, yeah, Spring Grove, yep.
And those guys left their house at like 2 a.m. in New York and drove basically all night to get there in time to play.
Yeah,
And it's like, man, and they're like, can we start around 9? And I'm like, man, that's getting real close to prep time.
yeah, it is.
But I'll be honest with you, I will change prep time to accommodate more golf on Fridays.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I was gonna say even if you go in the afternoons, but then I don't know if you'd want to do that, but
No, because most people aren't like you. Most people prep in the afternoon.
right. I like to I get it done first thing as soon as they come around for meat inspection. Boom,
You're
I'm
done.
doing my thing. Yeah,
And you're always pissing me off because I'm like, you're like, let's go
yep.
do this. And I'm like, I got to prep. And you're like, I'm already done, huh?
Yeah, but
Oh, wow.
yeah, it's fun. I enjoy it. Um, and I was gonna. So Sean was like, "So when are you gonna like quit doing this?" I said, "Oh well, I don't know, maybe a couple more years. When we hit our 20th year." And she said, "Oh, okay." I said, "Well, when I say retire, I mean to scale back and doing like 5 or 6 contests a year instead of doing the 20 to 25.
Right.
I'm still gonna compete. I say that now, and I'm probably still gonna do 20, 25 contests. You know what I mean? And until I
Yeah.
can't do it anymore."
I kind of feel like I'm closer to the 5 a year
Right?
right now, just with the business and everything. And
No, I get it. I would probably be in the same if I was doing this full time, if I was catering and all that. I mean, yeah, I would probably be doing, 5, 6, whatever. I wouldn't be doing nearly as many as I'm doing,
yeah,
but
it's
I don't
just,
know.
I don't know. I think a lot about it because,
Yeah.
this was our 10th year.
Mm-hmm. What? Yep.
And,
Yep.
you know, I've never done anything for 10 years.
Yeah. I mean, this is my Sunday morning softball. I mean, I grew up playing baseball, and then as I get older, you join the bar league softball,
Yeah.
teams, and one time I was on like 3 different teams. I was playing two games on Sunday, and then like 3 or 4 games during the week. And
Wow.
yeah, I was nuts, man. I just love playing baseball. It was
You
that
don't
was
do
my sport.
anything. You don't do anything half-assed, do you?
No, not really. I'm once I get into something, it's like I'm full bore. Uh,
That's what she
yeah,
said.
that's right.
Oh man, you
Yeah,
told me that this wouldn't be 30 minutes. You were right.
I know. What are we at? We're probably 40 minutes already.
Almost
45.
45.
Wow, that's good.
That's fine though.
Yeah.
What? Trying to think if there's anything controversial I can ask you. I don't really want to talk about any of that stuff.
Yeah.
I will mention it.
Okay.
You know what I enjoy about this part of the barbecue season?
What's that?
Nothing. Uh, no,
I know. I don't
no,
know.
nobody's cooking, so everyone's looking for something to do, and it's just
Yep.
I call
Yep.
it silly season.
Yeah, it is. I'm gonna try to mess around with a couple things, maybe tweak a couple processes, and
You gonna practice?
I am. Yeah, yeah.
So am
I
I.
just, yeah. I gotta. I'm gonna. I don't know. Probably ribs and brisket. a little bit. Not so much flavor profiles, but more technique, I think. More,
Yeah.
more of the process than anything.
I
So,
To say that I've learned a lot from doing this podcast would be an understatement because
oh yeah.
I've got to talk to a lot of different people and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
uh, the greats out there. And the
Yep.
one thing from this year that really has stuck with me has been
Mm-hmm.
something that Mike from QL said.
Okay.
And then he goes, the best piece of advice that I ever got about competition barbecue was take your worst meat and make it your best meat.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And I, it is haunts me. um, so I'm going to try and do it.
Yep.
You know, pork, if you go look at barbecuedata.com and look at my pork numbers throughout my career,
Mm-hmm.
it's easily the worst category that I have. And that's even, I think in 2015 or 16, we finished 8th in the country in pork.
Right. Right.
So that's even having a decent year. But even that year, we only won pork once,
Yeah.
and
Right. Right.
I think I've only won it 6 times and
Wow.
never have gotten a 180.
Huh.
Yep.
We got lucky. We got a 180 in pork this year.
You've had a lot of 180s on pork, though, haven't you?
We've had a few. Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, it's so a lot in New England is like 3. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Compared to like the Midwest, where and I think it's great. It's 180s almost every weekend out that way. Um, but yeah, I mean, I could probably count on one hand how many 180s I had in pork. I think it's like 3 or 4 or something like that.
Huh.
But
I'm just, for those of you that aren't on barbecue data, you should be. I just went to
yeah,
look up Mr. Gillespie on
yeah,
barbecue
I'm
data.
on there. I'm on there right now,
Yeah,
actually.
you've won pork 16 times.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
you've won ribs
chicken
and brisket
14.
the most,
Yep.
chicken the least, but pork 16 times.
Yeah.
So
And it's
yeah,
funny because I've had 2 180s in chicken this year. So like Mike's philosophy is right. Take your worst meat and make it your best. And this year, our average score in chicken was a 175.
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, right. And our
Considering
worst was
I'm not going to say it out loud that I was going
what?
to.
What? Yeah, you can say it.
Nothing, just kind of shitty at pork sometimes. Or no,
Yeah.
chicken. I'm just joking. No, you 180'd. I know exactly where you 180'd pork because you
And
weren't there for rewards.
Smoke in the Grove. Right.
Yep. And then I
I
was with
almost
you
drove.
when.
Yeah, I almost drove off the highway because we were live streaming it. Because I had to get home. I had to work the next day on Monday.
That's
So we
right. So
left
did I.
early.
I left too.
Yep. And we were watching it, and all of a sudden they called the 180 first plate. I was like, I almost drove off the road. It was awesome. It was awesome to hear that.
That's
So.
right. And then you won pork both days in Braintree.
Oh, up in Vermont. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, that I know. That was nice
Back
too.
to backer. Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
So we made some strides with pork this year and chicken. That's why I gotta work on ribs and brisket.
Man, I get lost in
So
barbecue data sometimes.
I do
Like,
too. I do too.
I mean, I have you in my favorite teams, so I can go and check on you, and
Yep, same here.
it's you know, it's just nuts. I
It
mean,
is, yeah.
look at
And
this stuff.
so barbecue data just does KCBS events. So those numbers really don't include. So we did another event this year at Mohegan Sun. It was sanctioned by World Food,
Yeah.
and we ended up GCing that one. And we had, I think we were first in chicken, first in brisket, second or third in pork, and like sixth in ribs. So that
That's
it's
right.
not. So, yeah, I'm looking at my overall contest. It says 245, but that doesn't include any NEBS events or any World Food
Right.
events. You know what I mean? So that number is probably closer to, maybe
Pro-
260, 265, maybe. You
Maybe
know what I
even more
mean?
than that if you
Could
think
be.
about
Yeah,
Neb's contest.
that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it could be. It could be closer to 275, 280, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
Huh.
but yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy to think that many events.
What a rabbit hole. Yeah. You can spend
It
hours on
is.
this.
It is. I spend
Oh,
hours on this, and I spend hours on the KCBS website looking at the tables and seeing how the tables did versus each other. And yeah, I'm definitely a numbers geek. That's for sure.
oh, for sure.
So
Now I'm going to go look and see how many times we've cooked against each other
oh
and who
God.
who has the wins.
Yeah. That'll take a little bit of time. You
No,
have
it
to go
doesn't
back.
actually.
How do you do it? What can you,
It's
is
actually
there a,
it's a beta thing that I have access to.
oh, all
And I
right.
probably shouldn't even say this out loud, but it's fun because I can pull up somebody and then see how I've done against them.
Oh, well, send that to me.
Oh wow, we've cooked against each other 55 times.
No kidding.
Yep,
Wow. That's pretty cool.
yeah, 55 times. The first
I'm,
time being the Rock City Rib Fest in
oh, yeah.
2014.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. No
And then
kidding.
the second time was the 2014 American Royal that you won.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
And we were
Wow.
142nd.
No kidding.
Yeah,
Jeez.
that's pretty nuts to look at.
It is. Yeah, I don't think
It,
we didn't do so well at Rock City that year.
you were 27th, and
27th. Yeah, it wasn't our best year.
we were fifth. But then the
Yep.
next year we went 1-2.
That's right. Yep.
Yep,
I remember that.
we were Eskimo brothers.
That's yeah.
Just FYI, I lead the series 30-25.
I figured as much. Yeah.
I didn't. That's
Yeah.
why I hesitated to even go look because I was like, what if this is one of
That's
those
still pretty
situations?
close.
Oh,
That's
it's
still
very
pretty
close, and
close,
it
though.
doesn't matter. It's just
Yeah.
funny when you
Well,
listen to people around the campfire start
yep.
hemming and hawing. I'll pull this up and be like, actually,
Right. Yeah. Well, I plan on making up a lot of ground then next year. So.
oh, here we go, here we go. Shit. All right, man. Well, listen. Now we've
Cool.
made an hour. We started out
All
with
right.
running a half an hour, and now we're an
Jeez.
hour. So I
All right.
appreciate you spending the time with me,
Well, I appreciate you asking me to be number 99. So
dude.
that's pretty.
You will always be guest number one, and
Oh,
you started this crazy thing with me, and I'll
that's
ever
awesome.
forever be grateful for that. And I'm glad that you were guest 99, and
Yeah,
now
me too.
our mutual friend Danks is going to interview me for
For number
100.
100. That's awesome. I love it.
I'm scared to death of some of my answers to some of my own questions.
I'm going to make sure I reach out to him and have him ask you some nice questions too. So.
he's actually mentioned he's like, I'm going to reach out to some of the Northeast guys and
Yeah,
get some
definitely.
loaded questions, and I'm like,
Absolutely.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
Yeah, I think it would be. It'll be funny. It'll be funny as all hell. That's for sure.
So your first one is going to be
And Lakeland, end of January.
Lakeland in January. Nice.
Yep. So
Awesome,
it'll be
man.
good. Cool. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, and I know we'll talk, but if
Oh, for sure, dude.
so
Yeah, I should
cool.
send you a couple of these experimental things I'm working on to try out. So
Definitely, yeah. Let me know.
all right, brother.
All right, man. I will talk to you later.
All right. Thank you for listening to Pitmaster, an Old Virginia Smoke podcast. Be sure to subscribe and like the podcast, rate the podcast, and to share it out with all your friends. Also, be sure to check out the Old Virginia Smoke YouTube channel as well. Tune in next week for another great episode of Pitmaster. For companies interested in advertising, please contact Old Virginia Smoke directly via www.oldvirginiasmoke.com. Pitmaster, an Old Virginia Smoke podcast, is edited by Chris Sedanka. Pitmaster, an Old Virginia Smoke podcast, is a property of Old Virginia Smoke, LLC. All rights reserved. Copyright 2022.
Old Virginia.